Hello everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Grammar Police. I hope that you're all doing well. Today I'd like to talk about a slightly more touchy and sad subject than usual, but considering current events and also considering that I am a British person, it seems necessary to talk about this particular topic. Today is the 9th of September 2022, which means that yesterday, on the 8th of September, the Queen sadly passed away, or died, of natural causes seemingly, in the afternoon. I'd like to talk about some fun facts about Her Royal Highness, and, well, we can compare ideas, and you can send me a message or leave a comment if you have any things to talk about. To be honest, this topic is kind of difficult to discuss as a British person because there are two types of people in the United Kingdom. We have royalists, people who are very big fans of the royal family and support them in every possible way, and anti-royalists, people who don't want a monarchy in their country, kind of like the Italians a few years ago. In my case, I can't really say that I have a particular opinion, which is convenient for the podcast, but also just because I'm not very good at making decisions on things like this. I don't think that the monarchy is useful, but I respect Queen Elizabeth II, and I have some fun facts to talk to you about today. Let's start with the basics. The Queen was Queen between 1953 and 2022, which means that she was the Queen for 70 years. She recently celebrated her 70th year as Queen with a big party called a Jubilee in the United Kingdom. This normally means that British people get together and have a big party on the street to celebrate Her Royal Highness, but in reality it's just like another anniversary for the Queen. The Queen was 96 years old. Quite old indeed, but I always thought that she never really looked that old. She was always quite active, and you saw her on television very often, so I think for a lot of people it was kind of surprising, the news that we received yesterday. The Queen has appeared in a variety of different things and has always been considered to be quite active. For example, did you know that she had to act in the opening performance of the London Olympics? I didn't know that, and I had to go back and watch the footage, and I was very, very surprised to see that the Queen was participating in that. It's very interesting to see such an active monarchy member, or a member of the royal family, because usually, of course, royal families tend to be very reserved, and they don't like to go out and mingle or mix with the public in general. So I guess it's kind of a surprise to see the Queen so active in entertainment and things like that. As you all probably know, the Queen also had a variety of corgis. I don't know if you've ever seen corgis before, but corgis are easily the cutest dogs known to man of all time. They are very short, and they look like sausage dogs because they have long bodies, but they are very fluffy. I'm sure that if you have seen any pictures of the Queen, you have probably also seen pictures of her corgis. Did you know that the Queen actually receives a lot of privileges as a member of the royal family? Actually, more specifically, I should say that the Queen is extremely privileged because she is the Queen. But I'll give you some examples of things that the Queen was allowed to do. This is going to be very difficult for me. First of all, the Queen is allowed to drive without a license. So, for example, Prince Charles at 73 years old will be allowed to drive around the country without a driver's license. I think that is a little bit worrying, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Did you also know that the Queen has 2 birthdays? One of these birthdays is April the 21st, and her official birthday, which is considered the Queen's birthday, is on any Saturday in June, when the weather is a little bit nicer. Her actual birthday is the first birthday I mentioned in April, but I suppose nobody wants to celebrate their birthdays in April. The weather in the UK in April can be very weird. Sometimes it's sunny, sometimes it even snows though, so you have to be careful. So the Queen has been known to enjoy a lot of things in her time and travel around quite a lot. But one of the most interesting things about the Queen is that she actually owns a lot of animals in the zoo in London. She owns an elephant, 2 turtles, a jaguar, and 2 sloths. It's kind of weird to think that she owns an elephant, or she owned an elephant, but I suppose, that's what you get when you're a member of the royal family. Now we have a new king, and now we have to change the national anthem to God Save Our Gracious Queen to God Save Our Gracious King. This is going to be difficult for people like me who have only experienced life with one royal family member, with one queen. Of course, I'm not the only one. Some of my older family members, like my grandma, she has only ever experienced life with the Queen as the monarch of the United Kingdom. So it's a very weird experience for a lot of people to transition from the Queen of England to now the King of England. What this means for the United Kingdom is that the currency will change. All of the pound coins and notes on the currency have pictures of the Queen's face on them. That is outdated now. It has to change. It will probably take a long, long time for these new changes to be put in place. And I think it will also take a long time for the British public to get used to having a king instead of having a queen. Let's talk about Prince Charles now and see if we can find out anything interesting about him. I remember watching a documentary about King Charles III. Of course, he was Prince Charles back then. And it was basically following him and his life as a prince in waiting, a prince waiting to take the throne. And one of the funniest things that I remember is that he has a car that operates exclusively on English white wine. I don't understand how that's possible. First of all, I didn't think that we made that much wine in England to be able to run a car. But yes, that is something that Prince Charles owns. Prince Charles is now 73 years old, which means that taking his role as the King of England, he will be already quite old. I mean, the retirement age in the UK is 67, I think, so I'm surprised he's not decided to pass on this role to somebody younger than him, maybe one of his children, Prince William. Maybe not Prince Harry if you know some of the things that have taken place in the royal family recently. But that is how it's going to be, I suppose. We will have a new king, although he is quite old, but he has some very new opinions. He's very active in the royal family. He is the one family member that has apparently worked the most every single day of the year, or I shouldn't say every single day of the year because he is a member of the royal family. He probably doesn't work that much, but he works more than every other member of the royal family. So he's a very active member. He also has a really long name, and I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to put it in the description of this video, but I can't be bothered saying it. It's very, very long. Basically, his entire name, his official name is very long. But then he also has some extra titles like Prince of Wales and Earl of Chester and Duke of Cornwall, and there are many, many, many more. So I will leave those in the description of this video. So, now that we have a new king, let us say welcome to the new King of England. But to be honest with you, I'm still feeling a little bit sad that the Queen has gone. She was 96 years old, which is a very, very great age, very grand age now. But I think there's one thing that I'm thinking about, and this is the reason why I'm sad for this particular occurrence. In the UK, when you are 100 years old, you receive a letter from the Queen congratulating you for reaching such an enormous age, 100 years. And the Queen was so close to receiving a letter from herself. It would have been nice for her to reach 100 years, I'm sure. But regardless, she had a long and fruitful life, and she was a very devoted person with a big gold piano, and now she's going to pass on all of these wonderful things to her son, King Charles. So, God save our gracious king and all that stuff, and I will see you next week. I hope this has been interesting to you, and I hope that you've been reading a lot of articles and interesting information about this online. See you next week, guys. Bye-bye.